Alright guys, so I've noticed that a lot of new players, in my opinion, they spend too much time obsessing over scavs and worrying about scavs, and especially when you're moving through the map. When you're moving through the map, what you really want to do is either ignore or quickly kill scavs. And you pretty much want to try to ignore them as much as possible if you don't have a suppressor, but if you do, taking them out with a headshot can be a good way to gain experience. But I see a lot of new players that seem to be, in their actions, kind of afraid of scavs, and this video is going to show you some of the reasons why you shouldn't be afraid of scavs and some of their limitations and problems that allow you to take advantage of that to maneuver through the map easier. So the first thing to remember about scavs is, even though it may seem that way when you encounter them, they don't immediately shoot after they see you, unless now that Nikita has implemented different difficulty levels of scavs, there is a risk that you can get one of the more difficult scavs later in a raid that might have these reflexes to be able to shoot you right after seeing you. But typically most of the scavs that you encounter have AI that works like this. The scav will see you, he will voice line, he will wait about a half a second to a second, and then he will start shooting at you. My god. So what the hell? So anyways, so there's a couple limitations with that, in that if you move around the map from cover to cover, you're not going to have too much problems from scavs, because what you want to kind of try to do is just stay moving and stay on your business up until you hear the voice line. Meaning a lot of people, they're going to hear a scav, and a new player, they'll come up over here and they'll kind of look for him, they kind of be scared, and they'll wait for him to come to them, which may never happen because scavs, normal scavs typically don't have a very aggressive AI. So really what you're doing when you're waiting for a scav to come around the corner like this and you're looking for him and you're waiting, is you're just opening yourself up to negative events, aka getting sniped, getting run up on, someone's gonna come looking for you because they heard you shooting earlier and now you're wasting time in one space. So all you got to do when you're looking for scavs, or when you hear one, is try to see him, because when you see him, they typically will see you, and like I said, they voice line, they pause, and then they shoot. So let's find one for the example. So assuming I'm trying to get to an extraction, but I don't want to fight, I run around till I find a scav. I don't know where that one is. I don't know where most of them are, to be honest with you. Alright, so there's one. There's three of them, actually. They see me. I'm going to try to navigate around the map without being seen. Okay, so I saw him, he saw me, he voice lined, and he didn't do anything. Now, the only way that he's going to do something immediately is if I re-peek him. So he sees me, and then I re-peek. Each time you re-peek, their reactions get faster, because they're already honed in on you, basically. Alright, so that's an example of what not to do. But if you switch angles on him... Hold on, allow him to reload real quick. Then he's locked in on your last location. And he's not going to be able to respond as fast. Typically, he'd be shooting me at this point, because it takes a second for their AI to once again locate your position and shoot with the aimbot. Okay? So with that in mind, we're almost able to completely ignore scavs, and I do tend to do this by moving cover to cover and taking advantage of angles and that delay period before they start shooting. Whoops. So I had to taste this guy because he's in my way. So basically, if you move cover to cover, boy, these guys are dumb. Then even if you run into a scav, you're gonna have time to keep going, basically, and you can utilize this to just move cover to cover and avoid confrontations with scavs if, for example, you don't have a suppress gun and you don't want to shoot to remain undetected. Now sometimes they'll shoot at you, and sometimes they seem to react quicker. Like I said, there's more difficult scavs and stuff, but honestly, even getting shot at by a scav is not something to really be worried about, because another part of their AI is that they take a second to kind of get accurate, meaning that they see you, they start shooting at you, and most of the scavs, their AI is programmed to go directly for your legs, your arm, your stomach, and non-vital areas first, and not to instantly kill you. So even when they start shooting at you and stuff, unless they get a lucky hit, which can happen, we all have been there before, you're going to survive it, and you're going to be able to med it. So there's a lot of times where not killing scavs is beneficial. For example, besides the points I already mentioned of staying undetected, what you can do is you can implant yourself among a mass group of scavs and then stay hidden and use them as alarms for any enemy PMC presence, and then push the person and third party them when they happen to engage the scavs. Alright, so I heard him here. Had to ice that one because he's in my way. So I'll show you guys a little bit of examples of evading the scavs, and I'll try to navigate through the map. Whoops. And how you want to do it is you want to block line of sight. When they see you, you want to block line of sight. You want to look for another path that you're going to take. And then you want to make sure that you give it a second or two before you reveal your position to them again, so that they're not already zoomed in on you and they don't shoot right away. Alright, so you see, they see me, they voice line, they don't shoot. Oh, one shot behind me, but he missed because he's inaccurate. Right? So I could go around him right there. I ran right past him. There's so many here because I have offline set as horde mode, so there's going to be way more than there normally is. But that just shows you guys that it's even possible even with an extreme amount, right? He sees me, he's voice signs, he pauses, I maneuver. And you can pretty much do this infinitely to the point where killing scavs for experienced players is more of an option. Oh, he saw me, he voice lined, but I lived it. I survived it. That was a bad situation though, because that guy, obviously they're kind of hunting me down here because I'm the only player here. But even then, you see, even if you do mess up and they take a shot at you, you're typically able to survive it. And if you do this properly with the much lesser scavs, it's pretty hard to mess up and get shot at unless you... If you don't know where they're at, just try to find some hard cover and use their audio lines and their movement to try to exactly place them, and then just keep stuff in between you and them. It's as simple as this, and then if they come at you, you can just hear it. He's not even going to chase me though, because like I said, they're not very aggressive. So I could well, I will. I'll just med here. And as he takes a step, I take another step away. And this is just to show guys there's really no reason to be worried about scav. To the point where you're afraid of them. And that's kind of where the PvP fundamentals videos are meant to show you. As you practice with them, you'll see their limitations and stuff. And you realize that they're just bots. So the only exception to this in their AI is really raiders, like on labs and stuff. Raiders and boss guards typically have faster reactions, and they may not wait to shoot. Typically their reaction is fast enough that they see you, they voice sign as they start shooting. But you see that this guy, he's basically useless here. Now another thing about scav AI is that when they get shot, non-critically or in a critical area, they usually either get aggressive or they get scared. Now, he seemed to take the shot, so he didn't run away. And if they're not critically damaged, they tend to come after you. And they also like to go to the last location that they seen you or where they heard the gunshot from. So I'm not quite sure where he went, to be quite honest. So if imagine I'm doing a scav quest to kill him. Imagine I have a quest to kill scavs, right? How would you want to go about it? Well, I would walk through the map until I saw one. And then I see where he is, and he voice lines, so I have audio on him. Then I go to a different angle, and I peek. Now, let's say we're running through the map, and we need to find another one. But instead of going super slow, hoping to see them, because oftentimes they hide as well, we'll run around until one of them sees us. Then we go back into cover. Then we'll give it a sec, so his aimbot goes away. And then we go up, and we peek him with his previous location in mind, and we execute him in a perfect world. Like, my mouse keeps hitting my plate and false firing, sorry. Alright, so we located one, he shot at us. We have hard cover in between us and the shot location, so he can't do anything. We have audio on him, track him with audio, he's going to the right. He came to us that time. Pretty nice sometimes. Alright, we're running through the map. And now, basically, I run around without really caring or looking for scavs until I hear them see me, and then I make a plan of action. So there's a scav. He saw me. And if you want to practice this for yourself, the difficulty settings for offline are as in online and offline. Oh, he saw me. So I'm gonna push up. Uh-oh, uh-oh, uh-oh. Uh-oh. Alright, good. So this one got hurt and ran away, so I was able to move back into cover. And then this one saw me and hesitated, so I was able to actually bounce back and forth in between cover of these guys. And this is very, very realistic application that you guys will want to use in raid, and I use in raid all the time. So we saw where he's at. Oh, we saw another one is. Oh, he saw me. Jump into cover. He didn't. We jumped into cover fast enough. He couldn't react. And then we push him from another angle. All right. So that about sums it up, guys. There's no reason to be so cautious to wait for scavs or anything, but you really just want to make moves. But make moves cover to cover. Listen for the voice lines and use the voice lines and the audio from them to pinpoint their location. Put hard cover in between you and their location, and then move cover and cover to close the distance. Oh, he saw me. Wait for a second for aggro to reset. Repeat. Wait for a second for aggro to reset. Repeat. And when you wait for a second like that, they're not going to shoot right away even if you repeat, but let me show an example of going too fast. So he sees me, I go into cover, and then I start repeating him. Oh, I missed a shot or whatever. This guy sucks. He decided to flip me off instead. Typically, the worst time to repeat him is right after they shoot at you. So let's see if I can provoke a shot on him. On me. It might take me out here. This guy is stupid. Let me see if I can bait a shot and then repeat him. Alright, so he just shot at me. Even this guy is pretty bad. As far as scavs go, he's on the worst end of things. They usually react much faster than that, but you guys can see really how limited they are. Alright, so there's that, and then I repeat that guy. Repeat. Ba-ba. I hold this angle, and every time they shoot, they get more accurate, by the way, so you don't really want to hold an angle on them. You just want to exploit their AI and let them reset. But yeah, hopefully that clears up a little bit for you guys to show you that scavs aren't really something to be as worried about as the majority of people are worried about them, and hopefully help you guys move through the map a bit better. All right, that's it. Enjoy.